Hi, Derek Abella here, making another video for you. I want to talk about bee removal and dangerous places that may require other extra things or people or experts to come alongside the beekeeper to do the bee removal. So, for instance, one that I just did was behind an electrical box, which I've actually done those before. And the only reason why you would need to consider us hiring an electrician to come out with us to do the bee removal is if it was something where you wanted us to go from a particular spot of that electrical box. For instance, this one, the bees were entering underneath the electrical box. They went up underneath, they built the honeycomb right behind the electrical box and then drew it down. So we actually were able to open up the bottom underneath, start pulling them out, but we also have to go from top or one of the sides to get them out. So that required the expertise of an electrician. We had to call him out. He had a bee suit. We were able to give it to him and he could sit there and help us and walk us through everything on how to do that bee removal safely and properly. Make sure we're not cutting into any major wires, because mainly they lived in this house, the homeowners, and they didn't want, obviously we can't just turn their power off in the middle of the summer. They don't want to, be without air conditioning, things like that. That being said, also we want to be safe for our guys doing bee removals. So the expertise of an electrician there is optimum, because then we could sit there and do the removal, the cords, the electrical, everything else. We know they have a better idea of where everything's at. So there's cases like that where you're actually going to need someone extra to come out to help us do this job. Most cases though, we can do it without them. And for instance, there's another job I did behind an electrical box, and I was able to actually open up the wall behind it. Didn't require any major cutting or anything like that, so I was able to actually remove the bees from that side safely without even worrying about the wiring and anything else. Other instances are off of cliffs. So the side of a cliff, we're talking 50 foot up, 60 foot up, and not close enough where we could actually drive a forklift or anything else, a lift with a bucket close enough. So that being said, we actually needed someone to help us go over the side of the mountain to go down. Or there's times when you have to go up a mountain and you can't go down. So things like that also require a professional climber or someone like that to go out with us, so they can, obviously everyone's safe. So there are cases where we do need to call in an extra expert to help us do these bee removals. But again, there's nothing stopping us from doing the removal. We can always save them. There's never a problem. One interesting little note I want to add into this too is most people assume and associate removing bees and beekeeping with a smoker. I'm going to tell you right now, 99% of the jobs I do, I don't even have a smoker. I always have a smoker with me, but I don't have a smoker that's being used most of the time, because I can almost always guarantee you when I start removing those bees, I can safely do it without the necessity of a smoker. And this is something you're going to get with a bee removal specialist like myself, someone who's been doing this for years and years and years. They understand the nature of bees. They know how to keep the public safe. They know how to keep the homeowner safe. They know how to keep themselves, their guys safe. Everyone is safe because of my knowledge as a bee expert. Our company knows how to do these things safely every time, right the first time. Unlike most other companies, you got people trying to undercut price, people who are also exterminators, things like that. And again, there's just a whole host of reasons why it's not in their best interest to turn around and just safely remove them right the first time. But it's always in our best interest, because that is what we do. We're beekeepers. We do the bee removal. We don't carry chemicals. We don't have a license, because you only need a license to carry chemicals. So we don't have a license because of that. We are beekeepers, and you just never required a license to be a beekeeper. So anyone that tells you that is totally misinformed. But on top of that, we're also not carpenters, we're not masons, we're not things like that. So you can know that you're getting someone who's going out and doing the work, knows how to cut into the construction. With the thousands of calls we've done and things like that, we know how to do these things right. We know how construction is. We have a vast knowledge of people who actually do those things. However, when it comes to beekeeping, that's what we specialize in, and we don't turn around and upsell you and say, hey, we're going to turn around and patch this now too, which you get a lot of guys who will charge you for the bee removal, and then they'll also upcharge you for doing the patching of everything else, cleaning and all this other nonsense. We're just doing the specific bee removal. So something interesting to note. Again, if you like this video, check us out, abellabees.com. Please hit subscribe, and we'll see you soon.